Where is the toughest place, Bumble, to bat? If you had to come out of retirement and you're in the peak of your powers, and somebody says you, where's the one place in the world right now? No chance. I do not want to go. Yeah, I do not want to go.
Real demanding conditions.
The toughest place to bat in world cricket right now.
Bangladesh.
I don't know if it's as bad at the moment. I reckon the worst test pitch is probably Guyana, because I don't know how you felt as
At the border.
Yeah, the ball never bounces above your shin.
And
I don't know. And I was not a very talented player. That for me is just, it's impossible to retrain my brain.
We went to Bangladesh and it just so steamy and hot.
And it's grippy.
And it's the country's below sea level. And I found it really demanding.
The Cape Town wicket of recent times has been...
Because that just goes, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they tried to... Remember when they played India and they were like, we'll put a little bit more extra grass on it.
Yeah.
It almost killed everyone, right? That was a really, really bad wicket.
I'm thinking of steamy places like Durban. That can be really steamy there, energy sapping.
Yeah.
Do you think batsmen...
So the weather affects you more than the pitch? You can handle the pitch, but you don't like...
No, absolutely, the weather would get to me.
So Butch always used to say that. Butch always used to say that, like, when going to Asia, he'd be trying to get his runs as quickly as possible because eventually it would just...
Knackered after 50
Yeah, you couldn't think anymore. I think KP played an innings in Pisara at Colombo where he kind of said the same thing, right? That like they had like 7-2 fields and he's like, I don't care, I'm going to have to keep going because I can't. I know eventually it's going to get to me.
Do you think your average batsman now would, if you offered him an absolute Bunsen burner in India, or a pitch like Cape Town in South Africa, where there's that real extra bit of pace, what do you think the average batsman would least like to face out of the two of those options?
Spin.
If balls are just pitching on leg and hitting the top of off stump.
I would say the Cape Town wicket because it was unsafe.
Right? Oh no, if it's unsafe, no.
But yeah, if it's the normal Cape Town wicket or one of the South African ones that's doing something, or the modern Australian ones where they're still fast.
Players want pace and bounce.
Yeah,
if
they
it's
don't
pace
mind the ball
bounce,
coming
they don't
on.
mind that. They don't like it gripping slow this way.
That's why
way.
I think Guyana's the toughest to bat on because you've got the heat and you've got it's a sweaty place, Guyana.
Sweaty place.
And the ball just doesn't bounce, and so you just can never feel comfortable playing your shots. I think it's a really tough wicket to play on.
What about England, Bumble? I mean, is England, England always, people say certainly for opening batsmen in England, it can be incredibly difficult, with overcast conditions.
Can't be that difficult, it's smashing the ball everywhere.
Yeah,
maybe double 100.
And the India boys are going there, aren't they?
Place in England, it's demanding when you're playing in April, opening the batting. And my theory is that when you're playing in April, the ground is unbelievably cold. It's cold and damp. I think you've half a chance in October, where you've had all the heat of summer and there's still warmth. And then there's dew. Don't worry about the dew. Get rid of that. But the ground is warm in October, definitely warm. Whereas in April it's cold and it's wet.
English wickets, like when you play club cricket over here, and you play a warm-up game before the league starts. You just the ball just gets bowled into them, and then just goes this direction, or this direction. And you're like, what shot am I supposed to play? I can't imagine professional cricketers handling that particularly well. So I think the early season ones are very, very tricky.
How's this conversation changed from pitches right now, conditions right now, to maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago? Has anything, Joe spoke about
Drainage has altered. All the big venues, it just goes straight through. So equally, the pitches don't retain moisture. It all just goes.
They had a real problem when they first brought in the drainage. That that was when the CEO Brown wickets were there, right? Like they were it was so good, and now they're trying to keep the grass back on, and and try and find the perfect balance. The truth is that the Cape Town one we were talking about is a perfect example, and India got caught with this as well, and some other teams have. There's a science to it, but essentially a lot of it does come down to art, and you don't need to make a mistake that much to make it a unplayable wicket, right? And we've seen that time and time again, where it seems like we'll leave a bit of extra grass on, and both teams are bowled out in 2 days, right? Or we want it to spin, and then the Indian batters can't play it because it's spinning so much, right? Like India, I think, have quite honestly said we probably went too far with our wickets. We need to pull them back, and no one's making any runs, right? They weren't feeling comfortable when they went home to bat. So you've got to find that perfect middle ground. Realistically, if we were to use Hawkeye data and everything else, we could come to it, but we don't use it, so we just guess, and occasionally people get it very wrong.
Yeah. So in terms then right now, like the best batting wicket then in terms of not too much spin, not too much maybe extra bounce. Would Australia be possibly a place now where batsmen like to bat that extra?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, it's because the ball's nipping around too much.
Is there anywhere in the world then that you think is the best batting additions to go and bat?
I mean, England's pretty good for batting at the moment, isn't
Yeah,
it? It would be one of the best. I think Sri Lanka's the one. It hasn't spun as much in Sri Lanka recently, and people have started to make a lot of runs over there in some of those games. So Sri Lanka's probably one where, because India went the other way, right? India and Pakistan, we haven't even talked about their wickets. They used to have the best batting wickets, and now they use one pitch twice. They put another one where they put like executive fans on, or like, I think that, they had everything except for like, setting fire to it to make it drier. So those used to be the best batting wickets, didn't they? You go to Pakistan and everyone would make, cash in and make lots of runs. It's not the case anymore. So I think Sri Lanka's probably the best batting wickets, and England's not far behind right at the moment. These things change really quickly. You only need a new CEO or chairman to come in and be like, nah, we like wickets. And then it nips around. New Zealand's not too bad to bat on as well.